Welcome to Grassroots Rising. I'm your host, Jimmy Skogard. Today we're going to talk about the rule before the fight. Freedom holds when the process holds first. Law, deadlines, and procedure are the quiet rules that keep passion from turning every public question into a stampede. I keep thinking about a gate. Out here in Wyoming, a gate matters. Fence line matters. Order matters. On the ranch or at a county fair, I know we don't just swing the gate wide and hope the whole scene sorts itself out, especially if there's a bull involved. We set the space first. We know which animal moves first. We know where the pressure points are. We know who's watching. And we know what happens when energy rises before the path is clear. Called a stampede, folks. If I open the gate too soon, dust could fill the air. The strongest animals push forward. The rest react. Motion takes over. A calm ring turns into confusion. And once that confusion starts, getting control takes work. That's human nature. That's public life. That's why the rule must come before the fight. Why do we need rules? We like to think ourselves as thoughtful people. We are. We're also fast people. We sort quickly. We react quickly and we label quickly. We do that because life moves fast and the mind is always looking for a way to save effort. Scientifically speaking, our brains are energy consumers. They use about 20% of our daily calories. To conserve that energy, our biology creates shortcuts. Once we decide that what something means, we like to just keep moving. That instinct helps us in daily life. It helps us cross the street, fix a problem, make 1,000 quick judgments that keep the day going. It also leaves us open to manipulation. Because once a label lands, the next message has an easier path in. Once the story settles into our mind, every new post, meme, clip, or headline can feed that same groove. Before long, we're no longer thinking fresh thoughts. We're defending a position we already filed away. This is why law matters. This is why deadlines matter. This is why process matters. These are the guardrails that slow us down long enough to think again. Oftentimes, we take a shortcut. We live in an age built around a shortcut. A clip, a sharp insult, a loaded phrase, or a half-true story wrapped in urgency. Our feeds keep on coming. One post becomes 10 become a pattern becomes a worldview. Soon a person feels informed simply because a message feels familiar. That's the trick. Familiarity starts to feel like truth. Repetition starts to feel like proof. Passion starts to feel like wisdom. And once that happens, process feels frustrating. Deadlines feel unfair. Law feels like an obstacle. A person who arrives late to the facts wants the verdict right now. A person who lives inside a stream of outrage wants action right now. A person who has already chosen a side wants the rules bent to fit the emotion. I've seen this in rooms, big and small, a conversation with a real question. Then somebody brings the heat. A voice rises, a label enters the room, another person stiffens. Old opinions step to the front. Soon the goals shift. The goal is no longer clarity. The goal is victory. Once the shift happens, everything changes. We stop asking what the rules say. We stop asking what the timeline requires. We stop asking what is fair to everybody in the room. We start asking, who is with us? Who is against us? And who gets to win this round? That's the danger, because self-government depends on more than feeling. It depends on discipline. A free society cannot run on passion alone. Passion gives energy. Process gives direction. Law gives shape. Deadlines give fairness. Without those things, the loudest voice wins the hour, and the strongest pressure group wins the day. That's not liberty. That's drift. The labels that stick. The hardest part is that intelligent people are not immune to this. In some ways, the sharper the mind, the better it can defend the label once it takes hold. A smart person can build a fortress around an opinion. A smart person can explain away a contradiction. A smart person can become so deeply attached to a story that it fits identity, pride, or belonging. We see this playing out right now in the headlines. Look at how lines are being drawn between the Pope and the President, forcing us to pick a side and filter out any truth that doesn't fit our chosen leader's narrative. That is why humility matters. That is why procedure matters. That is why every court, every election, every public meeting, and every civic process needs rules that stand before the personalities arrive. The rules protect us from the moment. The deadlines protect us from the selective outrage, and the process protects us from ourselves. There's a quiet wisdom in deadlines, if you think about it. A deadline may seem cold. It's not cold, it's equal. A deadline tells all of us the same thing at the same time. Show up here, bring your case here, bow by this day, speak in this order, and present evidence before judgment. That's structured as something beautiful. It restrains the rush of the moment. It guides every side. It gives every side a lane. It gives every citizen a standard. It tells power that power also has a boundary. Without that, money bends the room. Without that, organized pressure bends the room. We cannot build a healthy republic that way because our children need something from us. Our children are growing up in a world of constant pressure. The noise never stops. The feed never sleeps. The outrage waits in the palm of the hand. It means we carry a bigger responsibility than previous generations. We must teach more than opinion. We must teach timing, patience, and proof. We must teach that justice begins with restraint. A child learns early that the rules in the game make the game possible. Our childhood stories, like the boy who cried wolf, were designed to anchor us in the truths before the noise of the world could crowd them out. Civic life works the same way. When the rules are clear, trust has a place to grow. When the process holds, disagreement has a place to breathe. When the law stands above personalities, freedom has a chance. That is the inheritance worth passing on. We have a rule before this fight, so here's the lesson I keep coming back to. Set the gate before the motion starts. Set the rule before the argument begins. Set the deadline before the pressure rises. Set the law above the personality. That's how we protect fairness. That's how we keep emotion from consuming judgment. That's how we hold a free society together when the winds pick up and everybody feels the urge to push. We must slow that wind. We must steady that gate. We must remember the rules before the fight. If you've ever felt the pull of outrage, the principles of the feed, or the weight of constant division, this is the moment to return to principles. Ask for the evidence. Ask for the timeline. Ask what protects fairness for us all. Because agency means the ability to decide the future for ourselves. We still hold that power, but only if we use it. Our children and our grandchildren's legacy is in our hands now. Join the movement at ScoGuard2026.org. Thank you for listening. I'll talk to you tomorrow.